Hi, all. Welcome to another episode of the Journey Canvas. Today, my guest is Madhu Kargund, the founder of Tengin. Tengin means coconut in South India. We will talk about his journey, mission, and his vision behind setting up Tengin. Madhu is also contributing 2 to 3% of his revenue to support menstrual hygiene practices for rural women. Please watch the entire episode to learn more and support Madhu on this great initiative. Hi Madhu, welcome to the Journey Canvas channel. So let's start a little bit by telling about yourself. What do you do?
Hi, Vinay. Thank you for having me. So my name is Madhu Kargunda, and I'm from a place called Arekempanahalli, which is part of Assam district of Karnataka, India. And so
Mhm.
I run a social startup called Tengin, uh, which means coconut in the local language. So my all of my upbringing was in an agriculture, was in a farming because my dad was a farmer. I studied my schooling there. All my summer vacations, my weekends were mostly spent in an agriculture and closely connected with an agriculture and farming family since I grew up there. Uh, so then, like after my childhood days, moved to college, did my master in computer application, and so every farmer has this thing, right? Like I don't want to see my son or a daughter in the same profession what I am. They want to see in a better way or a position. So like my dad sent me to study, and like I came to work in Bangalore for as a software engineer. Worked for 8 years in a financial institutions. And yeah, then started thinking as a social startup while working.
Do you still work in the software engineering or as a software engineer, or you're full time into entrepreneurship and
Now it's
focusing on Tengen?
yeah, now it's a full time. So I quit
Mm-hmm.
around 2020, pre-COVID, just before pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So until then, it was like a part-time gig for me. I mean, the whole idea to go back to agriculture and start something related to agriculture was I knew the field, what the farmers were facing, the difficulties, and always in my mind, I just wanted to do something on my own or like start something. But what drew me back to
Mm-hmm.
agriculture is one of the Steve Jobs quotes that he did delivered at Harvard: "Connect the dots, looking backwards." Like how we got his Macintosh, a font which is done with his calligraphy. Like that, I thought, okay, this has a problem. I see a huge inflection of farmers moving out of the village because of no sustainable income or in an agriculture. How will you make them stay in their own village?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what helped me to connect the dots and start thinking.
Wonderful. So, can you tell us a little bit about Tengin Products? And I believe I was looking at your website, and
Mm,
it was pretty innovative. In fact, what I
mm,
saw, it's not
mm.
just a simple product, but you're really creative in what you've done. So, tell us a little bit more about your products.
Yeah. So when I decided I want to go and do something to our farmers because I learned something called natural farming. It's called zero budget natural farming from one of the person called
Mm-hmm.
Subhash Panikar. What happening in the villages is today when we are in a city today everyone talks about okay you need to upskill in certain language, you need to learn artificial intelligence, machine learning, where the world is going. But who is upskilling a farmer today? Nor the government nor any other agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Still is following the same traditional way of agriculture which was laid by his father or the
Mm-hmm.
forefather, which we call monocrop farming, which is a single crop farm. And I thought, okay, I need to go at least whatever I learned, I need to cascade that knowledge. But what devastated then was the movement of farmers, that what's happening. I thought, okay, this could be, uh, we need to value our own produce, what we grow. At least that helps us to make him stay in his own village and create a lucrative income. And that's when I started with a virgin coconut oil last
Mm-hmm.
5 years back, because we are a tropical region of coconuts. If you see the belt of Arsikere, Tiptur, and all, that's why it's called Kalpataru. The quality, the taste,
Mm-hmm.
everything differs what is grown in that region. So I thought, okay, let's do something out of coconuts innovatively and do something. But 5 years back, like 5 to 6 years back, I heard about this oil called virgin coconut oil, and I started to
Mm.
research around that. What is virgin coconut oil? Why is like something different? Why people didn't knew about this like a product, and it's an amazing product which was not in a limelight. So I started researching about that and started using it my own. There was a small unit which was running in my village. I got my coconuts, get it crushed, and started using myself. And after seeing the wonders, I thought, okay, I need to become a spokesperson for this oil. And and then I
Mhm.
started my spreading my wings and like talking to more people uh, by giving them like a small amount, like an 100 ml, 150 ml. Try this. This is something very uh, good for everything, for your health, for your skin, for your hair. And so that's how we started with the
Mhm.
virgin coconut oil. Probably I'll explain you more about the benefits later. Uh, when I started virgin coconut oil, we saw
Mhm.
a huge waste that was coming when we break the coconut, which we call as an agri waste, which could be a coir, which
Mhm.
could be a shell. This is something a nice sustainable product that we can convert and replace all the plastics, because we are talking about more on eco-friendly sustainability, climate action change, everything. And also I was doing some climate action
Right.
strikes at that time with Fridays for Future. Then
Mhm.
I thought, okay, I need to do
Mhm.
something from this agri waste, and thus we helped to convert
Mhm.
these coconut agri waste shells to like a smoothie bowls, coffee mugs, which in turn giving a jobs to the rural
Mhm.
farming communities or women communities. So we try to solve the whole purpose of the thing
Mhm.
and started moving towards circular economy. Every waste of a product, we try to convert to a usable product
Mhm.
to the consumers, which is from coir and shell.
Got
Uh,
it.
Likewise, coconut
Mhm.
sugar we have recently, like after extracting a virgin coconut oil, we get a waste coconut powder. That's again in a waste. We're thinking
Mhm.
what we can engineer around that. So we converted that to a scrubber cum soap, the waste. Also,
Mm.
we didn't add a chocolate in our line, so we converted that to a coconut rocher, like Ferrero Rocher with a waste coconut powder.
Wow. That's very interesting. Like that's very innovative. So is it just the coconut which you have made like complete use of it, or like are the other parts of the coconut tree as well? Do you make anything out of the other parts of the coconut
So
tree?
yeah, basically like every part of the coconut tree, I can say. So like if there's any
Mm-hmm.
discarded tree which is like fallen down, so we get that bark and converted that to like a spatula or spoons and fork out of that. From the coir, when you open the outer shell of the coconut, we get a coconut coir. These coconut coils are converted into the vegetable cleaner, the water cleaner, dishwashers. The shells have been converted to all the products which I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The meat of the coconut have converted to an oil. Uh, the coconut sap is converted to the coconut sugar, one of a low glycemic index sweetener, which is again good for diabetes. We have coconut jaggery,
Mm.
coconut chips. Also, recently we launched something called ragi
Mm-hmm.
huri, so because ragi is one of an healthy millet, which is again blended with the coconut.
Right.
Yeah, so something ragi huri too is something which is it's become like a go-to
Mm-hmm.
product to all the people now.
Wonderful. In fact, I saw a video recently on YouTube where they showed people were, I mean, like from the bark, they remove the bark and only from the stem, right, the core stem, they slice that and eat. And a lot of people left comments and reviews saying it's really tasty. I've never tried. Is
Yeah.
that something you also do? Like that sounded very interesting to me.
Uh, that we have not explored it. But I'm just seeing
Hmm.
what's viable. I mean, like there's so many products, so many things that can be done with a one coconut tree. Like could be a
Hmm.
uh, tender coconut water, uh, or could be what you're calling like when you we call the coconut embryo. When you break the coconut when
Hmm.
it's sprouting out, you get a small embryo inside that, which is like a coconut jelly or a coconut ice cream. But only
Mhm.
reason is like we are seeing like what's today a consumer wants, how the consumer pain points have been solved, whether it's a scalable product for us, and we are working and we are only concentrating on those products. Uh, so the reason why today we kept the flagship product as virgin coconut oil. Virgin coconut oil is one which is made from a fresh coconut, which can solve a lot of problems. Uh, the virgin coconut oil can solve a thing called thyroid. It can also come out from an Alzheimer's. Can help for losing weight because it has something called lauric acid, which is one of a saturated fat
Mhm.
next to the mother's milk. When you drink it, it converts in the body as a
Mhm.
monoleurin, and that monoleurin helps to uh, con- control your thyroid, losing weight, for your
Mhm.
increase your metabolism, everything. Also, you can like clean your mouth in the
So
morning.
do you lose?
Yeah.
No, no, go ahead. Complete, please.
Also, like it's not only in a cooking. You can also use to clean your mouth in the morning. It's we call oil pulling, one of Vedic technique to cleanse your mouth in the morning. So what people do is like you can take oil in a mouth, 1 or 2 spoons, swish it in your mouth like 5 to 10 minutes, and when you spit out, your bad bacteria goes out. Also, it helps you soothe your gums and cavity. It's good for your skin, for hair. It has like plethora of benefits. Only thing is you need to spread that goodness to the people and educate what this oil can do a miracle for you.
Got it. So do you lose all these benefits once it's a refined oil versus virgin coconut oil?
Yes. See the virgin coconut oil. When I say earlier, so it's made from the fresh coconut meat, versus the normal coconut
Hmm.
is made from the dried coconut, right? A fresh
Right.
coconut which we
Okay.
make, which we
Hmm.
take a milk or which we make chutney, right? The fresh one, the younger one. If it wants
Hmm.
to convert to a dry one, it takes 8 months to 1 year. The whole transition phase, it loses all the goodness it contains, be it the lauric acid, be it the good saturated fats, or vitamin E content, everything it loses, or it drastically comes down. So when you make an oil, it is early stage, which has all the benefits which I've explained to you.
Got it. In fact, I recently heard a very horrific thing that to dry the coconut quickly to and
Oh,
for a refined oil, they use sulfur,
correct.
which is
Yeah,
very dangerous,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
And not many people know about that.
I'll also try to tell like what is this the oil thing which is eating today. It's full of chemicals. Any oil, be it any oil, uh, it's completely contained with a mineral oil, which is a waste petroleum oil we call. Okay, uh, whatever like groundnut
Hmm.
oil, coconut oil, we can't get that at that price what we're getting in the market. Because if you do a like a math, every seed has its own content of oil. Like groundnut has 40% oil content in it in the seed. Copra has certain content of oil in the seed. So if you want to take a liter of oil from the seeds, we actually need 3.5 kg of groundnut, 1.5 kg of copra, and keeping all this expense like in the market, like we get for 80 to 100 rupees a groundnut, it has to be like 350. Then the marketing expense, other incurrences, everything. If you go, they need to sell it like 400 rupees, for example. But in the market, we are getting it 150 rupees. How we are getting? What's in this?
Hmm.
So a consumer need to become a conscious today. When they buy their foods. So you need to understand, okay, that's why I'll tell you what we have started. We saw something called Coco Tourism, make consumer understand an agriculture and the food, what's grown. So when you
Hmm. Hmm.
understand what ingredient it has, what is the cost, everything, so they realize, okay, what this is. They put something called mineral oil, one of the waste petroleum product. Then I
Hmm.
started researching what is this, where it's coming from, after like when they extract the petrol, right? Uh, so from a crude to a petrol, so they get this the pure petrol they get from this crude. They get a waste leftover, which we call mineral oil or petroleum oil, that doesn't have a color, that doesn't have a smell. It just have a viscosity of oil property. What they do is they leave it to the ocean because they don't have anything to do. And of late, in like, if you want to like clearly tell, in 70s or 70s, uh, these the petroleum countries, they were leaving to the ocean and they're spoiling their place. What they did then was, if I want to give a petrol to certain countries, like for example US or India, if I'm giving petrol, you need to buy the waste from us as well. Otherwise, we won't give petrol.
Mm-hmm.
The waste is a mineral oil.
Okay.
Then a country like the next country got this petrol, and next country got the same waste which they imposed to take it. And these were thinking, okay, if I leave it this
Mm-hmm.
to again an ocean, we'll spoil our oceans. I see. Let's not do it. Let's do something. And they
Mm-hmm.
figured out mixing with an oil, with going with
Mm-hmm.
oil companies and mix, and that's what we are all eating
Got it. So that's very scary. I mean, thanks for telling us about that. Um, so what is this cocoa tourism like? Do people just come to see like the overall process and you educate them? What else happens during this cocoa
now.
tourism?
Yeah. So at Coco Tourism, our whole idea is to make people educate like how it's been made, or show them their food how it's been happening. It's completely a traceability program or a transparency, and also
Mm-hmm.
give them experience to become a farmer for a day. Like for example, any consumer,
Mm.
if someone is interested, because today when we buy our foods through online or like outside store, we never give a second thought like where is my food coming from, whether it's been done ethically or grown ethically. It's like every consumer, right? Because you're taking a risk to your body that by consuming that food. So, moment you think about, you'll at least you'll try to understand. So we thought like, okay, we are very small. Like this is one of the way we can bring the transparency. So people come to a farm, see how the oil has been made. I'm a natural farmer. I teach about natural farming of
Mm-hmm.
agriculture to them. They knows what goes into your coconut trees. We help teach them how to make jivamrita, how to use it, what we do to increase the organic matter of the soil. Also, we run a small program called Sweat Donation Drive, wherein you work with our farmers and you
Mm.
donate your good sweat for us, which in turn you understand agriculture, you become a farmer for a day. With all this, like life and happiness they get like while doing a farming is something like, yeah, we were all
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmed when we started this program.
Very nice. Like if I was there probably in India now, I would have brought my son along. It's a great
Yeah,
day outing for them too, right?
please, please,
And
anytime.
great learning, like learning our roots, our
Correct.
history.
It's
So
it's good.
yeah, I mean like here in the US we do that. Like we go for like strawberry picking or like pumpkin patches. You know, kids
Yeah,
really get excited. They want to see and they want to like
correct.
go pluck their own like it could be vegetables or fruits, and then they really enjoy doing that. I think this is a
Exactly.
really great initiative you're doing, and it's tourism, entertaining,
Yeah,
and or more than anything educational, right, and
correct.
awareness.
True.
So Madhu, what motivated you to bring the thought, even the thought of like, yes, I need to bring all the villagers back to the village, like where they are originally from, and stop them from fleeing into the cities for like maybe like going to other jobs or menial jobs. What motivated you to do this?
Uh, so as I mentioned, like 5 years back, when I started this venture as a Tengin, I see a huge inflection of the young farmers living. I see only a white air
Hmm.
farmers were living in a village. Every youth of their home. Also, I mentioned like every parents has the thing, right? Like I don't want my son to be seen in the same field what I am. One, are I don't know whether they were pushing to go to city, or voluntarily they were moving out because agriculture is not my uh, forte, or like it's very difficult because of the rain pattern. Whatever we grow, we are not getting a price to live sustainably in a village. Uh, Also, there was a one scariest thing which has happened. If the huge migration is happening, who will grow food for us for the next generation? Just imagine today, almost like 60% of the village youths are in the city today, uh, because they want to earn good, and also a social status. Like when they ask where are you, they say like I'm in a Bangalore, I'm in this company, or I'm driving a Ola. It doesn't matter what you're doing in Bangalore, but they want to be in a city. There's another stigma attached to it.
Mm.
They won't give a girl who is in a village today, or if you were tagged as a farmer for you, they don't give a girl for you to marry.
Mm.
So all these things for him also make him to move out. But when you think it in the other side, uh, it's difficult for us to get a food in a very near future if everything moves out, everyone moves out. No one is in agriculture. Who will grow ragi for us? Who will grow coconuts for us? Who will grow rice for us? Then again, we need to import everything and become another
Right.
Sri Lanka. Food insecurity is the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I know it's very bigger challenge.
Right.
It can't be solved in and everything. But what I want to do is at least I want to retain my village people by creating an employment, whatever I can do. And when I talk to people like this on the podcast, like you, this might inspire someone, and he might also start. And like it can create a ripple effect. When I started, I didn't thought like I'm gonna
Right.
solve this bigger problem, but I know I'm taking a step to solve a little problem on my own. So
Wonderful.
that's when I started,
Right.
because there were so many Sri Shakti Sanghas in my village. There were farmers who has little
Mhm.
artistic skills with them, but they were not doing anything. Uh, Took the coconut shell and the end product to them and show them this is what can you convert from this to this. And I've given the machineries to them, and they took a time. They took like 4 5 iterations to get this to the proper uh, thing what we are expecting for our consumers to reach. And that's when they slowly started and learned. And we used the women collective, the Sangha, Sri Shakti Sangha, and asked them to make a ragi uri too. And
Mhm.
we're supplying a ragi uri to somewhere. Like that, like I started working with other state farmers as well, like work in Goa with one of our farmers collective for a coconut sugar. We work in Kerala with another FPO for our coconut shells. So I started like spreading my wings.
Mhm.
Only in the niche of coconuts, because that was my forte, and like wanted to bring the healthy nut to the people. And yeah, and also I was like so much coconut about people, so started spreading the goodness of coconuts with this.
Right. And I'll tell you my own personal experience. Like,
Mm.
um, my dad moved from a village, right? Like, and it was a mass migration. Everybody wanted to move to the city, just
Mm.
exactly like what you said.
Yeah.
And he sold the lands, acres of lands,
Mm.
for few lakhs of rupees, right?
Okay.
And today, the same land, if we had retained, it would have
Uh-huh.
been worth crores,
Yes. Yes.
right? It's such a big loss, right? Everybody, all his brothers, they just sold, and they
Uh-huh.
thought there is a better life in the city. But in the hindsight, like there is a lot to gain still living
Mm.
in a village, right?
Yes.
And the second example I want to give is my own like father-in-law.
Mm.
He lives in the city, but he never let go of his lands. He has agricultural lands in Goribidnur, and
Okay.
even now he goes every weekend
Uh,
to make sure the crops are growing properly, or like what is the next rotation crop, what he
yeah.
needs to do.
Yeah.
And every time I go, I make it a point to go visit this. It's so serene, it's so beautiful, and
True.
it's the greatest asset anybody can have, right? The
Yeah. Yeah.
future, in my opinion, is in the villages and less in the
Exactly.
city.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I've been telling. Like, if you're short with the food and if you have a money in your hand, you can't
Hmm.
eat the money. So you need a food, right? So that's why every way when I go and meet people, I tell them like respect the farmer. Don't bargain from him, because that also demotivates him for doing his work. Good job. See, I
Exactly.
know you can
Right.
bargain with a middle person, but don't die if you're dealing with a farmer directly. Go support them in whatever way you can, or just motivate him, because
Hmm.
he also seen like a only in the villages he's been like he when he comes and see on the other side of the people also he also feels something. So you talk to him, do something because you needs him.
Hmm.
He doesn't need you, but as a
Right.
consumer, you need him. If he is not there, he's like a backbone of a country. We have been told this. India is like a farming community. India is like 70% we have a farming community, but today it's been vanishing. It's not the truth which were like in 10, 20 years back. So we need to like
Totally.
I think
Totally.
the government is also doing in that sense. They're doing a lot of good work to
Hmm.
upbring the farmers and everything. We need to see like how it is. Yeah.
Right. So, when you started this thing in business, right, your entrepreneurship, what were some of the challenges you faced initially?
So initially, when I started this virgin coconut oil, it was very difficult to uh, tell to people what it is because as it's a new product, people knew about coconut oil, and the virgin coconut oil was very new. Like how we can make it from a fresh coconut. When you crush the fresh coconut, there's milk come right. How an oil is coming out. Uh, the marketing was the biggest challenge uh, to get it explained to the people. So I initially started with getting 150 ml oil to my friend in my office, which I was working, and unfortunately she was a Mangalorean, so it was easy to convince me because they use coconut oil in
Mm,
everything. So that's when I started. I remember.
mm,
Uh, then like getting a single product and going into market was another challenge because when I go to flea market they were seeing one coconut oil in my whole table in the flea market because flea market is my biggest asset. I've done like in last 5 years more than 150 flea markets, which has helped me to connect with the direct with the people,
mhm,
explain our story, explain what we are doing, and what the goodness of coconuts has carried to you. So that's one of the greatest asset where we did a customer acquisition and like uh, spreading a story. So when with a single product, it was been very difficult to tell them because the moment they see the coconut oil, they say, okay, this might be another brand of coconut, and they're walking away. So and also
mhm,
we were not able to do it in a masses. Though like last one and a half year, like 2 years, we got like good traction. We're not able to do in mass because we're not using any machineries with our manufacturing facility. Because the whole ethos was to create an
mhm.
employment to rural people, bring in more farmers, collective, and like do it. Um, so we're not able to do in masses. So that's one of a challenge or the difficulty we are facing. But we are trying to figure out now. We are getting a lot of youths like who
Mhm.
passed out of an engineering or coming out of an IT. When we got exposed in a uh, media, so now they're coming back and asking, hey, can we also do something like this? But they say like we don't know how to market it. Uh, if we
Wonderful.
can collaborate with you, if we can extract certain amount of oil with you, with my set of my friends or
Mhm,
parents near home, uh, can you able to do a contract or something like that? So we are working on that now. We are working with 4 5 farmers collective now, where we can get our oil done. So that's how like you spread uh, an employment for them in a local village when you start working like this. So I mean, like these are the challenges. I think yeah. So we are trying to
mhm.
mitigate all the challenges and like we're trying to come out of that.
Right. So, what is your future vision? Like, where do you want to take this to?
Uh, say future vision is like how we adopted like a single village uh, to complete coconut product village. We want to cater that to like more villages. Like I want to make every village makes a single product with their collectives that we are trying to build, and uh, that's the only way village can prosper. See, I mean, it's not like they're coming to us and working for 9 hours or something. It also helps them to take care of their agriculture field. So one simple example I can give you: uh, the person who makes our coconut soap dish, what he do is he'll take his cows from his house and take it to his farm. He will leave the cows for grazing. Behind the tree, he sit and he starts working his coconut, making the puffing the coconut
Mhm,
soap dish. So each in turn, he's doing his job. Also, he's earning an extra which while doing the main job. So this is something we want to look in the future and create more opportunities in village, and also try to be like a more sustainable, as we also conscious about the environment. And I feel like coconut shell is one of that, and we want to bring in like a more sustainable product out of coconut uh, to the consumer and like save our mother planet.
Hmm. Got it. So, in terms of scaling this up, right? Like,
Hmm.
is this a bootstrap company, or like, did you get any investments? Are you looking for any future investments from the
So
investors?
yeah, it's a bootstrap company. Uh,
Hmm.
So it all started using our own salary, which I used to get, and like that's how I started. Even the machineries which we had done, we didn't get it from a factory or something. I saw a machinery which was running in my village. We did a little reverse engineering, went to a workshop, get all the waste in a garage, and took pressing machine, hydraulic machine, and all. We got a new one, separate individual parts, and we started making our own sitting in a garage. So that helped me to bring our costs down in the initial days. Yes, now like to scale, uh, one, we need to have a huge marketing platform to let know our story and let know our product. We need a little influx of money, and also to increase our production line we need funding. Yes, we are open now for funding. We're seeing like if a good opportunity comes, we're also working with some grants with the government of Karnataka, and like we applied now this season. But also like yeah, so funding
Hmm.
comes with a great mentor, with a great person. Why not? We are open.
Right. That's wonderful. I'm so pumped. Um, so how can our listeners purchase your products? And even this is this product even available internationally? Because I'm pumped and I want to get all the goodness from you.
Thank you. So we are on Instagram uh, with a page name called Tengin underscore coconut oil. Okay, I think like
Hmm.
did I mention the word Tengin? What does it mean to our consumer listeners? Uh, the word Tengin in Kannada means
No,
coconut.
can you tell us about it? Yeah.
Yeah. The word Tengin in local language in Kannada or in South sounds similar, which means coconut, and we are concentrating niche on the coconut. Uh, that's when the word Tengin is come.
Got it. So
Yeah. So to
that's
our
amazing.
listeners,
So Instagram is the main place where. Mhm.
Instagram, you can reach us. We had a static page. We're working on an e-commerce page now, so it'll be up in a while. So you can reach us on www.tengin.in. Also, you can WhatsApp me if you want to know more about that on my number 9740
Mhm.
Uh, so you can reach out to me, and like if you want anything, like I can help you out. Yeah.
Mhm. Wonderful. So before we close out, I really enjoyed this conversation. Can you give some tips for the budding entrepreneurs who want to take up something similar to this? Like they may be in software engineering industry, or like they may be forced engineers, forced something else, right? And they want to follow their passion. Do you have any tips for those kind of people?
See, what I can tell them is, with my experience, if they want to do something, uh, if they want to be an entrepreneur, there's a very strong line between an entrepreneur and a businessman. If you have a money, if you want to invest and build something, that a businessman does it, right? Entrepreneur is someone who is trying to solve the problem which is in the society. If you want to be an entrepreneur, figure out the problem what it is and get a solution to it. When you get a solution, have a goals how to reach it. And through your journey, you will face a lot of problems. Keep that perseverance in you. Keep that hunger. Uh, don't lose your hopes, because a lot of people, a lot of brands have taken like a long time to get flourished. But it's just one moment you need that needs your brand to get flourished or known to them larger audience. And yeah, wait for that one moment. You never know, it comes on the day one, or it might comes on the fifth year of the day. So always keep a perseverance, uh, more hunger on your achievement. Like, uh, keep your goals on, and like, if you're going towards that, I think you can achieve it. But try to solve the problem what is in the society, and that's when I think you can build a great brand or a great company.
Right. And I really love your thought. You're not just an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur with a social purpose, right?
Yeah,
And you're going out there to solve the problem.
yeah,
It's a health problem. It's problem of retaining the villagers back into the same place where they originated from. I'm really inspired and motivated by what I heard just today. Thank you so much for this. It was really
thank you, Vinay.
amazing conversation. One of the best episodes I've ever had.
Thank you, Vinay. Thank you for having me, and like, letting my story to people. And I'm sure this will helps to reach to good people, and like, they can inspire by this story, and like, that'll be like a great. And like, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.